feel like it's on purpose. So what I've been doing for the project, which I think is, and just like my career trajectory in general, is trying to combine myself with my work, that it's all one, and looking at ways of speaking that engage all of these things. And that includes, you know, spirituality, it includes all of it. So as Mercury retrograde interferes with the technology, I'll just start with the words. Opposition, disharmony. So this Prezi begins with the I Ching. The evening of the bike crash, it was one of the last nights of the I Ching's lesson for the week of disharmony and opposition. And the I Ching is the book of changes, the book of unchanging truth. And the commentary in this particular version that my girlfriend and I read says, divine awareness always appears, helping you as you go, while leaving your spiritual ego in union with all beings. Heaven, earth, and I are one. I can't get closer, but I'm not entirely sure how. For we are of the same origin. Realize this and become the seed of a whole being. And this, I mean, it resonated so much. Like in the midst of the pain where my arm kind of started to blow up, but it wasn't visible yet. I don't have words. So, where this goes next?
We found you out.
I think it's the magic. So, I asked for a sign as I was preparing this, like how should I tie this in for a 4-minute thing? And magic came up. That reading that we did was at McClellan, Stories and Cosmogonies, and you know who's the main culprit this semester with magic? That would be Kwame Wata. So, for my original project, I had this water. So one is rainwater from Prospect Park, April 21st. And I had plans to make labels and separate out, okay, a picture of the site, and the back would have had nutrition facts. This type of life lives here, whatever, whatever. The water is contaminated, it's pure, whatever. And this is another set of water from Prospect Park, from the pond itself, and I was very scared to put my hands in there, which itself was its own thing, because I was surprised when I got home. It was very dark. I ride through the park at night. It was very late coming home from school, and I thought the bottle would be filled with green perk. And I was like, it's clear, I can sell this and drink it. So, and I originally wanted you guys to interact with it a bit, you know, smell it, see what it's like, whatever, and you're still welcome to. But I was stopped at Prospect Park because that's the most valuable place in my life. So I say to my friends, if you've seen Prospect Park with me on bike, you do not need to go to my house, you don't need to meet my family, you've seen me. So it just felt like, okay, and then the next day I crashed. So that was it, that was all I wanted to collect. So mythic time is another thing that McClellan talked about, and the other day, you know, having to do the mundane, I went to a meeting for the census. I met the man this semester, and I came across a snail, and I was walking about as fast as he was, or she was, and just in the middle of 55th Street and Clarendon Road, you know, East Flatbush, I stopped and took some pictures. I hobbled down onto the wet ground, you know, like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And she was beautiful, she just took her time. And I was like, oh wait, snail totem medicine. What does she have to say? And she tells us about taking our time, caring for our physical selves, caring for our emotions. And I would add to that, taking only what you need anywhere you go. So, something that Professor, what you wrote to me when I told you about the bike crash, you said something about the sustainability of riding in the city, and it was an aha moment for me. It's like, you know, there's a rupture right there. It was a rupture, you know. Well, look at this, you know, what does this mean? Here I am doing this project, and I spent 3 hours trying to separate the landmass of Brooklyn from the water. So I was literally on Google Maps with the technology trying to figure out, how do I make this happen? And it frustrated me, it didn't happen. 3 hours later, I'm leaving, I'm like, I'm going to date night, and the crash happened. So again, it just kind of kept circling back and back and back and back, and I realized, oh, I can't separate it. I'll close
You
up.
take
So, storytelling, he talks about it being transformative. The taxi driver made him drive me home. So this is me in the back seat in taxi 5L88, and he keeps calling to find out if I'm okay. And that's the door, which once you open it, it kind of goes, there's no spring anymore. It's interesting to think that my arm did that. And this is the second day. I'm just putting this just because, I mean, it's real, and I'll make papers out of this, and I refuse to do clinical language. This is after the accident. It's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. And then, you know, today, that's it today. And that's the one that I can show you. You know, the rest is like, oh, my back is off kilter, and that's attached to my brain, and my brain is how I make my living. So ultimately, his ideas really stuck with me. I mean, there's so much in our class, period. The other question I was responding to that you posed in class about the site 350.org was, you know, what would you do differently? And creativity for the cause is kind of what came to mind is, I guess in general, what can happen. So, you know, uniting with different people, being creative in our approaches, performativity, and I really think